Good evening. Today's lesson is for Standard 9. It is from the book Moments, which is your supplementary reading book. So we would study the first chapter, The Lost Child, by Mulk Anand. I will just discuss the summary of the story. You have to go into it in detail and so that you can answer the questions. Okay, so this child, this story goes around a child who's a very small child. As you can see, he is going to his with his parents to a fair in his village. The child is a very jolly and sprightly little child who is running about and enjoying all the sceneries and all the things around him. Every little thing attracts his attention and he runs off to inspect it in detail. So as they start off, we see he's been distracted first by he's attracted by the people who are dressed in a very colorful way, because everybody is going to the fair, the village fair. So everyone is wearing bright clothes, and the festival is held during spring. So the scenery is also very beautiful. So the child is enjoying that as well. So he runs off here and there. Whichever thing catches his attention, he goes after that. So on the way, his parents always try to keep a tab on him and ask him to come back to them. You can see, "Come back, come child, come." This has been repeated so many times. I've marked 1 and 2, 3, 4 places. The parents are very worried about him running here and there, and as they're heading to a very crowded fair, they're worried that the child might be lost. So they're asking him to stay with them. But every little thing attracts the child. The second thing that attracts him is the other stalls, the toy stalls that are held on the either side of the road, and he stops to admire them, and he pleads to his father to please buy him some. But like all parents, they do not give in to the child's demands, and they say, "No, you have to wait. We are going to the fair. We must reach there and see the things. Then comes the buying part." The child gets disappointed. The small child always, as a small child, he's demanding everything that catches his fancy. So he goes after the toys, but since his father denied, but his mother convinced him in a loving way. "Why don't you see the things that are around you? See the mustard field. It's so beautiful. It's a springtime and every flower is in full bloom." The child catches fancy with the mustard field. The flowers are yellow and stretched miles across. It was very beautiful to look at. So the child goes into that and loses himself in that. He also chases some bees, and he enjoys himself when again his mother calls him back. Please asks him to come back so that they can go to the fair. Otherwise he's straying into the mustard field and he might lose the way. So the mother asks him to join them back in the footpath. So off he goes again, tripping in a tripping way through the footpath, and he also is attracted by the worms and the ants and the insects on the footpath. So when the parents sit down under a shade to rest for some time, the child again goes off in search of flowers, and he starts collecting flowers in his hand, and sometimes a bird catches his attention. So every little thing is catching his fancy. This happens, if you have seen in small children, their behavior, if you observe their behavior, they get attracted from one thing to another. Each small thing loses its importance to them as soon as they see the next thing that catches their attention. So when he saw the flowers, he dropped them. He picked them up, and he started going after, going round and round the trees. But again, his mother asks him to come back and join them in the journey. So they continue their journey until they reach the fair, and there the child sees many things that he goes after. He loves to go after. Like there's the sweet stall which immediately catches the child's attention. Anybody's attention would be caught by that. He wanted the barfi, but then he knew that his father will not allow him, so he just moved on without waiting for the answer. Then again he found the flower seller, and the garland of gulmohar that he was selling attracts his attention. Then again he moves on, thinking that his mother will not buy them now. Then balloons. The next thing catches his attention are the balloons, which are held by the balloon seller, and the balloons were of multicolors, so definitely it caught his attention. But then again he did not ask, since he knew that he won't be allowed. So he went on walking, and then he saw the snake charmer, who stood playing the flute to the snake, and the snake, which was coiled inside the basket, that itself caused instilled a lot of interest in him. So he kept on watching them for a long time. Then again he moves about. He reaches the roundabout in full swing. He craves to go into that, and then again this time he was really serious. He really wanted to go on the roundabout. So he